my artwork, Tony Amore. So this is the Prelude in C minor, Opus 28, number 20. Prelude in C minor, written by Frederic Chopin. Some quite big chords in here, the left and right hand. Chords are quite big. So as you can see, the last notes on the first bar, you've got an E flat, a C, a G and an E flat. This is on the last note. So you've got E flat, C, G natural, E flat, E flat, C, G natural and E flat, and then the left hand you've got two C's and a G. So so that's quite a big chord. It's quite a big chord to play. So that first chord, that's on that last note, something like that. You can see that. So you've got an octave stretch on the E's there, and then you've got C and a G, then E flat in the left hand. So 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 that's the that's the figuration for that. So it's quite a big stretch. This is Frederic Chopin piece, the Frederic Chopin piece, piano piece, masterpiece from the original piano score. It's largo, quite slow. 3 flats, E flat, E flat, B flat, and A flat. So this is Frederic Chopin. Last line. So that's the first bar. So the first bar goes C flat, C D. G octaves. So last of that. Oh, should be E octaves again, what was said before, with the G and then that there. That's the first bar, the prelude. So going back to that again, 2 G's, E and a C. 2 F's, 2 G's. So that's the first bar of that, of the prelude in C minor. And this song is very famous for, this was probably written in 1840 or 1838 or something. And Frederic Chopin, the Polish composer, composed this. But in recent years it's been made famous by the Barry Manilow song. The Barry Manilow song, and he used this music in Could It Be Magic? And he used the beginning of this, he used this piece actually. It's not a lot to it, there's not many lines to it, it's only 3 lines of music. But he used this in the introduction to Barry Manilow's U-Jet. Is U-Jet, huge pop hit. Could It Be Magic? And he uses Chopin melody, played exactly the same, because he's a gifted piano player as well as singer, Barry Manilow. My brother loves Barry Manilow. I like Barry Manilow, I think he's wonderful. but my brother likes Barry Manilow. So start with that chord, and then we go up to the A, down to F, and then go back to the G again. So G, and this is the second. Oh no, this is the first line. We're still on the first line. Oh, sorry. And then I'll do second line in a minute. And then I'll do second line. So some big chords. These are quite big chords. I mean, Chopin doesn't even make the easiest of piano pieces look easy. They're very difficult. His music is extremely difficult music to play. And you need to know your way around the piano to play these piano pieces. So let's change that as the A like this. So the second bar to the D. D flat, so yes, that's it. This is a tricky one here. It's a tricky chord. So it's a massive stretch again. Another massive stretch. And then oops. Let's finish last line, it's on A flat. So it's the second bar of that prelude in C minor by Frederic Chopin. And then we do the next line, he says. Using D and B in the right hand. So use my little finger and the third finger like this. Play it right. Sorry, I mean the little finger and the second finger. And my right hand, and then for my left hand it is even more difficult. It is no, I have to use I use D, B, F and D. That's it with my right hand. So that's it, and then and then it's oh yes, and it's G. So D, B, F, D. That's right. So this is the third line. This is another big chord here coming up. B, G, E natural there with C. That's it. And then E flat, C, E flat, C, E flat, C, and G, and that's it. Now let's see up here, see octaves up here. E flat. No, E natural, sorry. So, and that's the third line of that prelude. So so going through that again, maybe G and E, C, it's down to G, first bar. The first bar again. This piece goes. That's the first bar of it, so I'll do that again. Make sure I got that right. So sorry, that should have been E flat then, sorry. So do that again. So the prelude. Oh, sorry. Sorry. That's the last line. That's the last chord on that line, on that bar, in that bar. So then the second bar, you've got E flat again, E octave flats again, with a C and an A flat. The right hand and an A flat octaves, and the left hand, the bottom of the keyboard, bottom of the piano. So that's the first chords on the second line. A second bar, on second bar, first line. Second bar, first line. And this is a massive chord. This is really massive. And the last chord is just a right hand. It's just the right hand only, which is what? No, it isn't. It's not. It's just written that way. No, so it's and yes. That's the second bar of Prelude in C minor, Opus 28, number 20 by Frederic Chopin. Do that again. So first bar. So I'll do that. Sorry, getting mixed up between your notes. Should be E flat there. Definitely getting mixed up between your notes. So, then second bar, and also to the end of then, that's the second bar. And the third bar, is middle D again, down to middle D, D octaves, D in each hand, a D in each hand. That's alright. Well, it's a bit strange then, but it's not. B, F, and that's good. And then G, G's in there, left hand bass. Oops. That's the third bar. So that's the first chord on the third bar, first line. We go up to E nat, we go up to E naturals, C, B flat and G, and we go down to C there. So and then we go to G, G, C and A. So G, C and A, the right hand, and back up to the F. And then E, C and G. C. That's the third bar of Frederic Chopin's Ballad in C minor. So Frederic Chopin was in a relationship with George Sand. George Sand's real name was Amandine Aurora Dupin. So she had four. I can't remember the third name to that, but basically it was Amandine Aurora Dupin. And when she got married, George Sand, who was in a relationship with Frederic Chopin, this woman, George Sand, when she got married, her name was obviously changed, and it became Dudevant. So she shortened it to Aurora Dudevant. And she was obviously a very gifted novelist, gifted writer, George Sand was. And she wanted to get published, and she'd already done a book with somebody else in France, in Paris, France, and they got the book published. But the problem was, if she wanted to be published on her own, the publishers wouldn't give her the time of day, and the reason being for the simple fact she was a woman. And this is in like 1835 or something, 1835 in Paris, France. So they wouldn't give her a contract, and they wouldn't publish her books. Well, she knew this anyway, and I don't know whether she approached somebody or not, but she decided to change her name to George, a man's name, George Sand. And she wore men's clothes anyway, and smoked cigars and wore a top hat. She walked around with cigars, this woman named George Sand. And she was in a relationship with Frederic Chopin, and the Polish-French composer. His mother was Polish and his father was French. And he was born in Poland, Frederic Chopin, and he had piano lessons from the age of 6. By the time he was 13, his professor was his own father at the Warsaw Conservatory in Poland, Warsaw, however you pronounce that. And when he was 13, he entered the Warsaw Conservatory. When he was 13 years of age, he studied music theory there, and then he went on to study with Professor Alsner music composition. And he was also, later on, he became famous concert pianist, and then he went on to become a world European famous concert pianist, and on the concert stage, and he was doing concerts around Europe, and he also wrote a huge body of piano music, classical piano music, for the concert stage. In 1838 to 1839, Franz Liszt and Frederic Chopin, and George Sand, this woman I was telling you about, visited New York. New York? I'm getting everything mixed up. Visited Majorca, and could have visited New York, but no. He went to Majorca, one of the Balearic Islands, Spanish islands, and he stayed in Majorca there. And George in the winter, and George Sand, his partner, wrote a novel there about their time spent in Majorca, Spain. Majorca, the island of Majorca in the Balearic Islands, and she wrote a book called A Winter in Majorca, and it became a big, like a bestseller, if you like, in France, probably Spain as well, and the rest of Europe. So then she became even more famous, and Frederic became poorly in Majorca, because it started out to be really sunny. In Spain it is very sunny. I've been to Majorca, I've been to Valdemosa, and he had to move out to Palma, Majorca, the capital, and he ended up staying in Valdemosa, the monastery of Valdemosa. He had his Pleyel, because he knew Mr. Pleyel, Monsieur Pleyel, who had his own piano, concert pianos, and he knew him very well because he'd met him in Paris, France, and Pleyel sent him one of his grand pianos over to Majorca, and Chopin went down to Palma, Majorca, the capital, and transported it from Palma, Majorca, after 3 months, after 2 weeks of it being interned by the Spanish Customs Office, who wouldn't give him the piano back unless he gave him loads of money. So they gave him 300 francs. So they haggled over that, and then he managed to transport it. No easy task, because I've been from Palma, Majorca to Valdemosa, and it's quite a trek, and some of it's quite mountainous. So he would have had to arrange for the delivery to the monastery at Valdemosa. And that's where Frederic Chopin and George Sand stayed. So that's a bit of history there about Frederic Chopin. So I was doing this one, as you remember, Mussorgsky's pictures at an exhibition. I was doing that. I was also, if you remember rightly, I was working on this other piano piece, if I can remember rightly, I should say. So I was working on this piano piece. I'll do the right hand first. So so I was working on that piano piece. Sorry, this one. No. Is that right? It doesn't sound right to me. That is right. I'll start again. Sorry. So. No, it's not. So. was it. So start that again. Just doing the right hand. So no, it was that. That's what it was. Oh, never mind. So was it? He says. No, I'm not so sure myself. Is that right? Is that right? That's it. That's it, yes, that's it. So that again. Yes, that was it, sorry, that was it. So I remember now. It's coming back. And then what's that? Yes, that's that. That's it. Now that's not right. Like that. No, that's not right. Like that. That doesn't sound right. Try that. Doesn't sound right. Try that. That's not it. Try that. Sounds right. So, so I was working on that anyway. I was working on this piece. So. No, that was it. Yes, that was it. Sorry. What's that? Oh no, that's not it. So again. That's it. That's it. And then. Oh, so no. So that's what I was working on anyway. Stepping Out by Joe Jackson. So. So that's that. So that's what I was working on anyway. That what's I call it? Piano piece. So, that's alright. So. Yes, got it. No, that's not right. So, down. No, where do I go? Forget. Got it. Yes, that's right. Yes. So, it was there. Probably better with those fingers. So, no, it's better with that fingering. And then back up. So, and then doing the left hand, and then working on the left hand as well. Left hand. And that's that by Frederic Chopin. And like I said, I was working on the pictures at an exhibition by Majorca as well. Pictures at an exhibition by Majorca. And working on this. So. So I was working on that anyway by Majorca, Modest Majorca. And that's it from Tony O'Morey. Thank you very much.